Emergency. I've been having a real bad smell lately. I just went in the basement, opened the basement door, and there's a turd and what looks like it could be blood leaking from it. And I want the police to come here ASAP right now.
On a chilly December afternoon in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a resident of a 2-unit home noticed an unusual odor coming from the basement. Assuming it might be a small animal that had gotten trapped in the walls, he decided to investigate. But what he came across was far more unsettling than he expected: a large black tarp with dark red stains along its edges. Without hesitation, he stepped back and called 911. Moments later, authorities arrived and carefully made their way down into the dimly lit basement. What they uncovered that day would stay with them forever.
I unzipped the bag, and we then discovered the body of a woman with the arms and legs and head missing. Who are we dealing with here? What kind of animal?
What authorities discovered was deeply unsettling. Only partial remains were found, leading investigators into one of the most mysterious and chilling cases in recent American history. But who was this woman, and how did her life take such a tragic turn? Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories. The ill-fated woman, Ashley Regina. Marie Young was born on January 14, 1987, and was the only daughter of Christine Young. Ashley was nothing short of a miracle. Christine had been told at 18 that she would never be able to have children. So when Ashley came into her life, it was more than just a surprise. It was a blessing. Their bond was more than mother and daughter. They were best friends. By the age of 31, Ashley had settled in Kalamazoo, Michigan. She juggled studying at a local community college while working at a bank's call center. Before that, she had worked at a care home where she touched many lives with her warmth and compassion. Her kindness and selfless nature earned her the love and respect of everyone who knew her. On the morning of November 29, 2018, Ashley was set to meet her mother in Kalamazoo to co-sign the lease for a new apartment. After ending a long-term relationship with her boyfriend, Moody Farron, she was ready to start a new chapter and move out of the place they had once shared. But that morning came and went, and Ashley never arrived. Calls went unanswered. Messages were left unread. Worried, Christine contacted Ashley's workplace, only to be told her daughter hadn't shown up and hadn't called in, something completely out of character for her. As the hours turned into a day, Christine felt a deep, unshakable sense of dread. Something didn't feel right, and a mother's instinct is rarely wrong. The mysterious disappearance. The last time Ashley checked in with her mother was the night before she vanished. She didn't say where she was going or who she'd be with. Now, 24 hours had passed with no word, and Christine's concern had turned into full-blown panic. Feeling helpless and overwhelmed, she reached out to the Kalamazoo Police Department for help. Unfortunately, the urgency of the situation wasn't immediately recognized. Ashley was a 31-year-old adult, and authorities initially considered the possibility that she may have chosen to take a break, spend time with friends, or simply be off the radar for a while. As a result, the case wasn't treated as a top priority right away. Though officers began speaking with a few of Ashley's friends, the process was slow and offered little progress. But Christine refused to stand by idly. With every passing hour, her fears deepened, so she took it upon herself to search for answers. She started by reaching out to Ashley's friends, hoping someone had seen or heard from her. She also turned to Ashley's Facebook account, combing through posts and messages in search of clues. Ashley had always been open on social media, sharing snapshots of her daily life, and that's when Christine noticed something that stopped her cold. In the days leading up to her disappearance, Ashley had reconnected with an old acquaintance, Jared Chance. The name sent chills down Christine's spine. Jared wasn't just a familiar face. He was someone from Ashley's past with a complicated and unsettling history. Once a close friend, Jared had made some troubling choices over the years. Christine remembered a particularly painful moment from 2013 when Ashley's trust had been broken after a serious falling out with him. For years, they had gone their separate ways. But by 2017, Jared had resurfaced. He had moved to Grand Rapids, just a 35-minute drive from Kalamazoo. Jared painted a picture of struggle, saying life had been hard on him, and he was trying to turn things around. Always compassionate, Ashley had offered her support and gave him another chance. But this decision had always worried Christine. Even more concerning, Ashley had quietly confided in close friends that she and Jared may have been growing closer that their relationship might be becoming more than just friendship. And then came the final heartbreaking clue.
Jared is so hard to read, but I know that if he was my boyfriend and he actually was in love with me, I know he would be amazing. I cannot wait to see him.
That's when Christine came across something that confirmed her deepest fears. A voicemail left just days before Ashley disappeared. In the message, Ashley mentioned plans to meet with Jared on Wednesday, November 28, 2018, the day before she was last seen. Without wasting a moment, Christine acted. She reached out to Ashley's friends, hoping to get Jared's contact information. Once she had his number, she left him a voicemail, hoping for answers, or at least a sign that her daughter was safe.
Hello, Jared. My name is Christine Young. I'm looking for my daughter. She was last with you. Is she with you? She needs to contact me. Tell her that I'm going to contact the police department too.
Christine waited anxiously, and finally Jared returned her call. But what he shared was far from the reassurance she was hoping for. Jared told Christine that he and Ashley had spent the evening of November 28th together, visiting a hookah lounge and Mulligan's Pub in Grand Rapids. According to him, they had a great time and parted ways in the early morning hours of November 29th. Then came a detail that made Christine's heart sink. Jared said Ashley had texted him later that morning, saying she had lost her phone at the bar and was heading back to retrieve it before making her way to Kalamazoo for work. But something about that story didn't feel right. Christine knew Ashley's schedule, she knew her habits, and this version of events just didn't add up. Trusting her instincts, Christine brought all the information she had to the Grand Rapids Police Department and pleaded with them to investigate further. Unfortunately, law enforcement couldn't act on instinct or suspicion alone. They needed solid evidence to move forward, the kind that could justify a warrant or a deeper search. It was a difficult reality to face, but Christine refused to give up. Determined to find the truth, she contacted Jared again, hoping to get more clarity. That's when the story took a strange turn. Jared now claimed that Ashley had spent time talking with one of his friends that night, a man named Demetrius Taylor. He even gave Christine a few phone numbers that supposedly belonged to him. But when she tried calling, each number was either disconnected or simply didn't work. Still, Jared had underestimated one thing: the determination of a mother searching for her child. Refusing to give up, Christine did her own digging, and somehow, against all odds, she managed to track down Demetrius. What he told her left her completely stunned.
When we got there, he's like, I don't know, Ashley. I don't know your daughter at all. And he opened up his phone and showed the text messages where Jared said, hey, Ashley's mom's going to call you. And you have to say that Ashley was just with you. And you guys were just together.
Fortunately, Demetrius didn't go along with Jared's story. He assured Christine that he was willing to share his messages with law enforcement if needed, offering a glimmer of hope in an otherwise confusing trail of half-truths. Determined to keep going, Christine made her way to Mulligan's Pub, hoping to uncover something, anything, that could lead her to her daughter. She persuaded the owner to let her review the security footage from the night Ashley had been there. As the footage played, Christine's heart ached. There was Ashley, smiling, laughing, and simply enjoying her night. But something important was missing. There was no footage showing Ashley leaving the bar. With few concrete leads and no clear answers, Ashley's loved ones took to social media, posting her photo alongside Jared's, asking the public for any information that might help. The post spread quickly, catching the attention of the wider community. And then something unexpected happened. On the morning of December 2, 2018, Jared Chance walked into the Grand Rapids Police Department, this time with his father, James Chance, by his side. James looked visibly stressed as he asked to speak with detectives. He explained that Jared had been receiving a wave of online attention after Ashley's disappearance, with many of Ashley's family members publicly questioning his involvement since he had been the last person seen with her. James then revealed that Jared had information to share, but only if an attorney was present. Officers explained that no legal counsel was available at the station and that Jared would need to return with his own representation in order to proceed. At that, Jared appeared agitated. He warned officers they were making a big mistake by not hearing him out. No one could have imagined just how serious that warning would turn out to be. Later that same day, Christine drove to Jared's home in search of answers, only to find the street blocked off, crime scene tape wrapped around the area, and police officers flooding the scene. The shocking discovery. The sudden police presence had been triggered by a call from Mario Nelson, Jared's downstairs neighbor. He reported a disturbing odor coming from the basement and something wrapped in a black tarp with a dark red stain leaking onto the floor.
Our apartment just had this real bad smell, so I go in the basement to check the pipes, see if the sewage done flooded or something. Yeah. It's nothing, but it's a tarp at the end of the stairs I stepped over. But when I come back, I'm shining my flashlight and it looks like some blood is...
The discovery left Mario visibly shaken, and officers were just as disturbed by the scene. With few identifying details, it was hard to know who the victim was, until Mario mentioned that the man living upstairs was Jared Chance. That name hit home. Officers immediately connected it to Christine Young's missing daughter, Ashley, the same Jared she had warned them about. Suddenly, everything began to click. They quickly questioned Mario about Jared, Ashley, and anything unusual he might have seen. This was no longer just a missing persons case. Something far more serious was unfolding.
Action.
Who's this Jared Chance guy?
That's the guy who lives upstairs.
He lives upstairs.
Yeah, this is Jared Chance. This him. Can y'all check to see if he in the house? Because he do got a gun.
Is Ashley here?
Have you ever seen the person that they're talking about?
I seen her like a couple days ago when...
First.
Yeah, I left.
Did you ever see her leave?
Mario told officers the last time he saw Ashley, her car was parked right outside Jared's house, but now it was gone. No one had seen it since. He also mentioned something unsettling. Jared had always seemed off. His behavior over time had raised quiet concerns.
Forget it, because he normally high off weed and Xanax. You know what I'm saying? I can't have a conversation with nobody. Like, he sent me a message a couple days ago, like, if somebody come looking for me, don't tell them I ain't here.
Okay. He said that to you?
Yeah, it text message.
A couple of days ago he said that?
Yeah.
The new information raised serious concerns. With enough evidence in hand, investigators secured a search warrant and headed upstairs to Jared's apartment. What they found was shocking. Jared was inside, calmly asleep, as if nothing was wrong. He was taken into custody without resistance and transported to the station. Outside, Christine stood silently, holding on to the last bit of hope that her worst fears wouldn't come true.
Death.
We pulled up. I thought there was an accident. They found a body at his house, and it's a female, saying, "Please tell me that's not her. It's not Ashley. It can't."
The identity of the victim still hadn't been confirmed, and Christine could do nothing but wait and pray. Meanwhile, police began searching Jared's apartment, unaware that what they would find would be even more chilling than they imagined. In the kitchen, detectives spotted a large brown stain on the floor. In the bathroom, they noticed the shower curtain was missing. Then, at a floor vent, they uncovered small-caliber shell casings. Blood was found in multiple areas of the apartment. The shell casings matched a .22 caliber pistol Jared owned, but the gun was missing. The most shocking discovery came when they found a cardboard box near the stairwell. Inside, wrapped in black garbage bags, were 2 severed legs and 2 arms. Along with the limbs, they found women's clothing, a hoodie, and bloodstained boots. Every piece of evidence pointed to a horrific crime. Yet, despite the gruesome findings, no one knew exactly what had happened. The one person who could explain it was now in custody. On the way to the station, Jared seemed eerily calm, showing no signs of fear. In the interview room, he initially appeared willing to talk. After a few moments of small talk, detectives got straight to the point, asking why he had gone to the police station earlier. Jared's answer was unsettlingly casual.
We appreciate the fact that you came in earlier, and I'm sorry you got turned away.
Yeah, no, I just came in just because I read on Facebook that the last person this person was with was me, so I was just concerned and trying to get some information about it, but my dad just recommended me to just ask for the advice of attorney, and because I don't really know what the hell's going on, so I don't want to sit here and talk about shit that may incriminate me or whatever in any kind of way, because I don't know what's going on, so I just don't want to say.
The interrogation ended abruptly when Jared invoked his right to counsel, leaving many crucial questions unanswered. Just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, more devastating news came in. The coroner couldn't determine the exact cause of death without the head, but a DNA test confirmed that the dismembered remains were indeed Ashley Young's. Christine's worst nightmare had come true. The disturbing investigation. Determined to find out what happened, detectives retraced Ashley's last moments, starting with Mulligan's pub. Unfortunately, the surveillance footage had been deleted, but their persistence paid off when they found new footage from a nearby business. It showed Ashley and Jared together in the early hours of November 29th. Ashley was walking beside Jared, clearly alive and unaware of the horror awaiting her. Next, detectives turned to Jared's credit card records, tracing his movements. Between November 29th and December 1st, Jared had bought ammonia, alcohol, and trash bags at a nearby store. Surveillance footage from the store confirmed it. Things took a darker turn when external footage showed Jared dumping something in a nearby garbage bin. When detectives checked the bin, they uncovered shocking evidence: latex gloves, Ashley's ID, and a pair of Jared's blood-stained pants. The picture of what had happened was becoming painfully clear.
So when you start looking at what he's buying at Miss Tracy's and then you look at his apartment, it becomes pretty evident that Ashley was murdered in the kitchen and then ultimately dragged 10-15 feet and put into the bathtub. And that's where he did the grisly job of...
In an effort to track Jared's movements, detectives reviewed his cell phone data and uncovered a surprising lead. Jared's phone had traveled to Holland, Michigan, about 30 miles southwest of Grand Rapids, on the day Ashley's remains were discovered. Holland was where his parents, James and Barbara Chance, lived. Investigators suspected that his parents might have important information, especially since Jared had been uncooperative. On December 4, 2018, detectives traveled to Holland with a search warrant, hoping to find answers. What they discovered inside would reveal a shocking truth they hadn't expected.
Spent the next several hours with the Chance family while our detectives and other officers and forensic techs processed and searched their house. His father was a retired police officer, and he made a comment about, "I'm glad I'm not investigating this case, that this is a tough case." And I started thinking, how do you know it's a tough case?
Jared's parents refused to speak without legal representation, but the condition of their home revealed unsettling clues. Investigators found a knife with tissue on the blade and a small trace of blood in the Honda CR-V parked in the garage. Inside the house, they also discovered a shower curtain with bloodstains, which was linked to Jared's apartment in Grand Rapids. With this mounting evidence, detectives brought James and Barbara to the Grand Rapids police station, suspecting they might have been involved in covering up the crime. The couple was separated and questioned individually, hoping that one of them would provide key information. When Barbara's interrogation began, she appeared visibly distressed and overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation.
I'm scared. I just don't know what to do. I want to be cooperative because I don't feel like I perjured myself. But at the same time, I don't.
Barbara eventually admitted that Jared had come to their house, visibly upset, and confessed to an accident. According to her, Jared said that he and Ashley had been drinking and handling a firearm and that during this time, something went wrong, resulting in Ashley being injured.
Who was holding the gun when it just went off?
She was.
That's what he told you?
Yeah, but I said, "Did you kill her?" He said, "No, Mom, I would never kill anybody. I would never kill anybody."
In the next room, James provided a similar account. Both parents admitted that Jared had dismembered Ashley's body, brought some evidence to their house, and disposed of other parts. However, their stories began to differ when it came to certain details. Barbara acknowledged knowing about some of Ashley's body parts but claimed to have no knowledge about her head. James, on the other hand, also denied knowing specifics, attributing his lack of memory to his age, but he made a questionable statement during questioning that raised further suspicion.
He said that and I'm gathering that there was a problem with the handgun. And, and he said she took the gun and pointed at herself and it went off.
Okay, let me stop you. You just said he pointed, and then you stopped yourself.
No, I said that.
You said he pointed.
I meant she.
I know, but you're making these...
James tried to retract his statements, but it was evident that he was withholding crucial information. Despite the detectives' efforts to gather details about the rest of Ashley's remains, particularly her head, which was essential for determining the exact cause of death, James and Barbara refused to cooperate. The evidence was piling up and their inconsistencies were becoming clear, but the full truth about what happened to Ashley remained out of reach. Nonetheless, the admissions from Jared's parents provided enough grounds for the legal process to begin. Both James and Barbara Chance were charged with perjury and being accessories after the fact. Jared Chance faced much more serious charges: second-degree murder, mutilating a body, tampering with evidence, and concealing a death. While Jared awaited trial in custody, his parents were granted bail. Surprisingly, during this time, Jared agreed to speak with Heather Walker, a reporter from jail. This marked the second attempt to get answers from him, and Heather was prepared for what she might uncover.
And, we've been hearing a lot about you. We've been hearing a lot about what happened to Ashley. And I just wanted to hear from you, give you a chance.
All right. I really can't say much, but I don't even really know what to say.
Well, what happened to Ashley Young?
I can't even talk about it.
You can't talk about it because you're so emotional, or?
I just can't, well, that too, but, yeah, I don't know.
Hoping to reach Jared's emotions, Heather showed him a powerful video of Christine, Ashley's mother, making an emotional plea for answers.
Why have you decided that you want to speak?
Because I want to bring my daughter home. They know, the parents know something. There are people out there that know something. I just want my baby. I want her to come home. Ashley no longer has a voice, and I have to be her voice.
For a brief moment, Jared appeared to hesitate. The video seemed to have affected him, as though he might finally reveal something important. But then he shook his head and repeated, "I don't know," before ending the call shortly after. The heartbreaking trial. Jared Chance's trial began on September 9th, 2019. Without Ashley's head or a confirmed cause of death, securing a conviction was expected to be challenging. However, the prosecution was resolute in their pursuit of justice, determined to hold Jared accountable for his actions.
But then to cut through their flesh, cut through their spine to remove their head, to take off the lower legs and the ankles, to take off the feet. These are actions that no normal, sane human does.
Jared's defense argued that Ashley's death was a tragic accident caused by a series of poor decisions. However, the prosecution presented a much stronger case, focused on the evidence and the disturbing circumstances surrounding her disappearance.
Ashley Young died of homicide by unspecified means. I do not have to prove how he killed her. I don't have to prove that he shot her. I don't have to prove that he hit her in the head with a baseball bat or a hammer. What I have to prove is that he caused her death. I stood before the jury holding the sawzall, and I said, look at the person to your right and imagine that they suddenly die. If you had nothing to do with their death, would you take this and saw their head off? Would you take this and saw their arms off, and their legs, and their hands, and their feet? And then would you proceed to get rid of all of this evidence if you had nothing at all to do with her death? And nobody would.
The courtroom fell silent as the prosecutor's words resonated, but they weren't done yet. Two critical testimonies sent a cold wave through everyone present. The first came from Jared's own brother, Conrad Chance. Conrad described how Jared and Ashley had returned to the house one evening. As they sat together, Jared suddenly pulled out a gun, pointed it at Conrad, and pulled the trigger without checking if the gun was loaded. The recklessness and the danger were undeniable. The second testimony came from Mario Nelson, Jared's downstairs neighbor, who had discovered the grim remains in the basement. Mario recounted a chilling conversation with Jared, during which Jared casually bragged about knowing how to clean up blood and dispose of evidence. He even claimed he could get away with murder if he ever needed to. This disturbing revelation painted a clear picture of Jared's twisted mindset. After hearing these testimonies and reviewing the evidence, the jury deliberated for only 3 hours before reaching their verdict. On October 10, 2019, Jared Chance was convicted on all charges. During sentencing, the judge delivered a sharp and critical statement.
Clearly a monster without any conscience whatsoever, and you are someone who is a danger to society and should never be allowed free. Accordingly, it is the sentence of this court with regards to the second-degree murder that you be committed to the Michigan Department of Corrections to serve a minimum of 100 years to a maximum of 200 years. I am purposely doing this so that you will not be eligible for parole until you are at least 130 years.
Because the direct cause of Ashley's death could not be determined without her head, the judge was unable to charge Jared Chance with first-degree murder, meaning he could not receive a life sentence. However, the judge made sure to impose the maximum sentence available under the law. He sentenced Jared to 100 years in prison, effectively ensuring that he would never be released. Acknowledging the gravity of the crime and the profound suffering it had caused Ashley's family, the judge made a rare decision. He allowed Ashley's loved ones to speak directly to Jared in court. This moment gave them the chance to confront the man who had so brutally taken away their daughter, sister, and friend.
Well, she obviously meant nothing to you, but she meant everything to us. I'll never forgive you for that.
All I can say is, may you rot in hell.
This is what's left of my daughter. If I want a hug, I have to hug a box and close my eyes and pretend that she is hugging him. You had no right to take her from me, to take her from her family. Jared Chance, I hate you. I want to rip you limb from limb and discard you like trash, like what you did to Ashley. You have no remorse, none, for your actions. God will punish you more than anything I could ever.
With Jared now behind bars, Ashley's mother, Christine, still found little peace. For her, true justice wouldn't be complete until Jared's parents faced accountability for their involvement. However, the punishment they received seemed insufficient compared to the gravity of their actions. Barbara Chance, Jared's mother, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to just 45 days in jail, but she served only 29 days. Jared's father, James, chose to stand trial. Though he was cleared of perjury, he was convicted of being an accessory after the fact and sentenced to 30 days in jail and 1 year of probation. Ultimately, he served only 14 days. As this heartbreaking case comes to a close, the pain for Ashley Young's family and loved ones will never truly fade. The loss of Ashley, combined with the betrayal by someone she once considered a friend, is unfathomable. Her family not only lost her life, but also the peace of being able to lay her to rest with dignity. What are your thoughts on this devastating case? Do you believe it was truly a tragic accident, as Jared's family claimed? Was justice truly served? And is there any hope of recovering Ashley's remains? We'd love to hear your perspective in the comments below. If there are other cases you'd like us to cover, feel free to share your suggestions.